It's really exciting to see the fans' reaction when they finally meet me in person, which is kind of cool because I'm usually stuck in a booth and I have a TV and a microphone and a music stand and the script, and it's just me and the director in the booth. And because when I go into supermarkets or when I go into the mall or anything, nobody knows who I am. Nobody recognizes me at all. But going to conventions is really cool, and when the fans see like who I am, it's really awesome. It's really a cool feeling. So like, oh, you're the person behind this voice. So it's really exciting. I love it, and we're here for the fans. If the fans weren't for us, then we wouldn't have a job. I think it might be the longest running Japanese animation in the United States, which is crazy. I was really surprised. A lot of people in the beginning didn't think it would work, that it would hit off, with such a big audience, but it did, which was amazing and awesome. And God, they have such a huge franchise. They have games, they have toys, they have card games, they have I think they had a board game, they had cereal, they had sheets and plushies and toothbrushes and you name it.
Was that strange for you?
It was crazy.
Like surreal?
It was
that's big. I mean,
That's a lot. But I love when you go to conventions and you see in the dealer's room that they have all of that in all of the different anime too, which is really cool. Because you don't have a lot of the obscure anime or anime that you wouldn't usually see in the United States at conventions, because you can't go and buy like really maybe an Inuyasha toothbrush or something, but you can in Japan. So that's why coming to conventions I think is really great when they have the dealer's room here. Yeah. So that's cool. I think it's fun. My favorite character I've voiced is probably, her name is Ogiwe Chika in Genshiken. It's a great anime. It's an anime about anime fans, which is awesome. It's about otaku. It's a group of college students, and they have an anime club, and there's a manga club, and it's great. It's awesome. So it's about their lives and dating, and so because dating is hard, so for otaku sometimes. Because they can be a little shy. So I think it's a great series, and her character, I loved playing her character and like bringing her to life. She was really cool. She's an artist. She's like a manga artist, and she's kind of a closeted yaoi fan. So because she doesn't know how certain people will react to it. And she says, I'm not an otaku, I'm not into, but she really is. So she's a very conflicting character. That's why I liked playing her, because her emotions were always like a seesaw. Yeah. So she's probably my favorite that I voiced. I think anime appeals to the younger generations because a lot of the characters in there are human, and they deal more with real life. A lot of them are fantasy, and I think it deals a lot closer with human emotions rather than just, oh, fighting. I mean, unless you're watching Gundam, which is just like big robots fighting. But I think it deals a lot more with relationships between the characters, which I remember being a teenager, and I was very dramatic. I had a lot of drama in my life when I was a teenager. And I think they can relate more to the characters in anime than maybe some usual American cartoons, because a lot of American cartoons are very just like slapstick.
Yeah, sure.
They're very comedic, slapstick, and they're funny. They're awesome and they're great. But I think anime dives in a little bit deeper into the psyche, and I think with some shows teenagers can relate to that well. So I think that's why it appeals to teenagers more. Well, let's see. I'm trying to think. I did my first audiobook in January. So that was kind of developing a character. She was really cool. The book is called Blood of the Pride. You can go to audible.com. Shameless self-promotion.
Do it. That's what we're here for.
You can go to audible.com. Check out Michele Knotz, Blood of the Pride by Cheryl Mantis. It's a really cool book because it has to do with shapeshifters. So it's kind of like a sci-fi fantasy kind of thing, which I love. I love sci-fi and fantasy. And
Big right now.
she's like a detective, but she like shapeshifts into a cat. So it's kind of like werewolves a little bit, but with cats.
Okay.
So it's crazy, but it's really cool. And I got to develop like each character in that book because when you're doing an audiobook, you have to be every single character in the book. Unless the author specifically wants more than one voice actor for it, it's just one person usually. I do mostly voice acting, different genres, like commercials and toys and audiobooks and video games and dubbing and telephone prompts. I've done telephone prompts. It's like everybody hates them though because it's like, thank you for calling MasterCard, and they just want to speak to a real person.
Yeah.
So like, I want to speak to a real person. I don't want to speak to a machine. So, but I'm like, well, I get paid for that. I'm sorry. I hope so. I was a little concerned about the way where anime is going because a lot of the companies have gone bankrupt and a lot of the companies went out of business. So I'm a little concerned, but I am very hopeful because Toonami came back on Cartoon Network. Hooray! So I was very happy about that. I know Steve Bloom is very happy about that because he voices Tom, the little robot in it. So I think a lot of the fans were happy, and I hope the younger generations will notice that anime is very unique and it's a genre that I think they could really get into and really like. So even though a lot of hard times are happening right now, but I think a lot of people are more hopeful. And I think with social networking, that really helps out a lot too. Like Facebook, Twitter, blogs, everything. Start your own web pages and stuff. I think social networking really helps out because it's finally a chance for the companies to hear what you have to say, and here's a petition. We want this show back. We want this series back. So I think that helps out a lot too. I've been, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, almost like 9 years. I started like 2004, so almost like 9 years. Let's see, I was a theater major in college, and then I transferred schools, and I studied radio and television broadcasting. So I got into TV first. I worked at an NBC and CBS affiliate in Pennsylvania for a little bit, and then I moved back to New Jersey. I'm from New Jersey. I moved back to New Jersey, and I worked at MSNBC for a little bit, and I didn't really like news too much. It was too depressing for me. It was too depressing. It's like death and destruction over there. Yeah. So during my breaks, this is a funny story, because during my breaks, I would watch like when The Rising Sun was on in Toonami and things like that, and they're like, oh, it's like Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, and all that. And they're like, you really like this stuff. Why don't you get into that instead? You seem like you don't like working here. So that was kind of my transition. And in 2003, at the Big Apple Anime Fest in New York, they had a contest. It was kind of like American Idol, but with like voice actors. So I won my first role as Hajime Yagi in the world of Naruto. And it just kind of branched out from there because I said, because it was just winning a contest. It's not like I could quit my other job.
Yeah.
But this is something, it was a stepping stone, and I'm like, this is something I really want to do. So I talked to some of the actors and directors and how to put a demo tape together and who to study with, to get a vocal coach and things like that. And it just kind of, expanded from there. So, yeah. That's it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming on. I know everybody's
Thanks.
busy and catching flights.
Yeah, we're running all over the place. It's like, they're catch flying cars.
WeRiseMag.com